What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dog back again with a review show from Nottingham Forest's win against Blackpool yesterday. 3-2 win at the seaside. I was there. It was absolutely bloody cold, and I'm still cold. So any Forest fans out there who went to the game yesterday, how was you feeling? My feet, my legs, everything was cold. But we won. That's all that matters. So people in chat, how you feel about yesterday's win? We're next round against Bristol City. So what's your thoughts, feelings about the game? If you are new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Comment below, ask me in the panel how you feeling about the game. Right, before we do, let's get the panel in. First of all, the man himself, Rads. How you doing, Rads?
I'm good. I'm sure I was warmer last night than you were, but yeah, I'm fine actually. So yeah.
Next up, long time no see. We had to get clearance from FFP to get Matt back in. How you doing, Matt?
I'm all right. Thanks very much. Staying warm. Bit of hot chocolate.
Oh, I've got the water.
It's not going to last long.
And next, we had to get international clearance from the man himself. Early doors. The man himself. He's got a new setup as well. So people
do have a new setup door. Got my little jerseys in the background. And
he's got a new setup. So people who's loving David's background and new effort, who loves it. Man himself, David.
I think I've got to get 4 across here. So I kind of have 6, but I've worked out the ones up the top you can't actually see them. So, I think I'll have the 4 going. And I thought I better have just a slight tinge of the Australian Socceroos.
The bats as well. The bats.
I've got a Boldo Forest jersey there with my number on it that I used to wear to soccer training.
That was Kevin Campbell season, right? Yeah, Labatt's. Was it Kevin Campbell season?
Yeah, no, Kevin Campbell is the Labatt's. Yeah. Oh, that's the Labatt's, and then I've got one, and I've got one of the championship ones up the top. I've got quite a few, but yeah. So I'm just genie in a bottle, baby. Brendan Aguilera, let's go. I think I've got a new poster child.
Oh, dude. Right, so people like in the chat said we're going to talk about Blackpool game, and then we're going to talk about Brentford game and Forest stuff, related stuff for our show. So, like I said, people. Anything you talk about me in the panel, about anything about Forest, please do get in the channel. If you want to do any super chats towards my channel as well, please do. And make sure everyone subscribes to Rads as well. His link is in the title. Right, let's start with you. Let's start with Matt. Forest won, just. People in the chat as well, how are you feeling about yesterday's game? We won, but just. What's your thoughts, Matt, about the game?
I think it was a good cup game, wasn't it? I thought it was highly entertaining. Sitting on your sofa is a little bit more pleasant probably than watching from the stands. But I thought it was a really good game. I thought we played a lot better than we did in the first leg, as it turned out. It was an entertaining game. It's always difficult, I think, when you've got a lower league team playing a top team. It's like I always think of it as like a boxing. You've got someone coming out just throwing wild punches. It's hard to look good against them, sort of thing. So. I thought we handled it quite well. Obviously, we shouldn't have let the goals in. We did, but other than that, it was a decent outing. And like I say, just watching it from the sofa, it was a pleasant experience.
Before I get Rad's David, just do you want to say Ben was Forest fan okay after the medical emergency last night? Yeah. He was fine. I think he just needs some sugar food, and that's all he needed. But Forest fan is fine. So. I hope you do recover as soon as you can, my friend. Brad, was you happy with that with the lineup? Because he was strong, if I'm honest. Even if Morgan's right, he's injured. But what was your thoughts on the lineup?
Yeah, I thought it was. I liked it. Yeah, I didn't think we needed to go too different to the first game. Really, obviously we changed the fullbacks. There was no Gibbs White, which ended up being enforced. Hopefully, we've not lost him for too long because we've got not much depth in attack as it is without, even with Elanga and Morgan there. Yeah, I liked it. It was good to see Onmo Babadeli get his debut. I took the time with that.
I couldn't believe it. I think when I see the lineup, I think I was in the chip shop. I was saying to Des, "Please play on Babadeli play." I'm like, Please start.
It's a well-taken volley, wasn't it?
What
a way to announce himself on his debut, a goal like that. And
he didn't know what to do when he scored. He was like, oh, goodness. Firstly, he didn't know what to do when he's playing. And then he's also scored. He's like, oh, what do I do now?
Yeah. Fair play. I thought he did a pretty solid job, for a debut. yeah, overall the lineup, I like. It was decent. Yeah.
That's what we were talking about Amabam Daly. Let's talk about his first goal, David. Like I said, I thought when he scored the first goal, I jumped up and Gary looked at me and Ben, why you stop jumping for celebration? Man, it's Amabam Daly scored.
Amabam Daly.
But yeah,
well, for starters, let's just talk about before it actually went in. I was actually very pleased about how I was feeling about when Forest were kicking corners. We're actually a chance of scoring. And so what was it? I think it was Dominguez kicked the corner, wasn't it? And so I remember thinking, I'm like, we're a chance of scoring here. And then, goodness, we actually did score. And then I thought there were a few telling moments. Certainly the reaction to poor Chet Koyate and his family and what they're going through. I thought that was terrific how they handled that and the unity that they showed. And I think that the team has clearly got quite a unity there. So, yeah, my take, Ben, on the looking at this match, as I look at it through the lens of, well, who were the winners and who improved their position in terms of my standing and feeling about them coming out of the match. And Amabam Daly in that moment in the first goal and how well that was taken and his view on just how he kind of brought the team together, I thought as well was quite positive. So yeah, I was feeling quite good about him, and maybe we need to get him some more minutes.
Matt, would you start Amabam Daly against Brentford? Like I said, it was a steady start from his scoring his first goal, but as a defender, he's still conceding 2 goals against like no disrespect to Blackpool, but I know it's his first game, but would you start him against Brentford, Matt?
Well, you could do. I mean, obviously, Joe's the other alternative. I mean, I thought it was, again, a bit harsh on the ball. Him and McKenna coming on for the last, 3 minutes, just when they're bombing the ball into the box. It's the last thing you want to have to do. But, no, I thought he was good. You didn't see much of him, really, which I think is always quite a good sign. So, yeah, it was a good debut. And I think it's significant, isn't it, in the fact that we can't loan him out to another British club now.
You can't.
No. So the fact that they did play him suggests that maybe they intend to play him a little bit more in the future. So, rather than send him out to get some minutes elsewhere. So I think it was significant. He did play and he made an impact, and it was respectable. People always do this. They say, "Oh, he let in 2 goals." It's like, yeah, you're going to let in 2 goals. We let in 2 goals in the first one. You let in 3 goals sometimes. So what? That's what happens. That's occupational hazard, isn't it? I mean, you can't pick people based on letting a goal in. It's like the goalkeeper thing's ridiculous. If you say, "Oh, he keeps letting in goals," he hasn't really made a mistake particularly. Okay. It hasn't been great. But he's not, Turner's made about 3 seasons worth of errors, really, already. And I'm not saying necessarily I'd pick Vlachodimos over Turner. It's pros and cons, but he's made lots of errors, whereas Vlachodimos has just had a few go in the corner and maybe he could have got his hand on it. But it wasn't a clanger, was it?
No.
But if we have one substitution left in the 119th minute and it's going to penalty shootout, do you want him subbing on Matt Turner?
What, do you think he'll save penalties?
To save the penpenalties. And I think the answer...
I don't know whether that's a good idea ever.
It works for the Netherlands.
Yeah, well, but not always. But I'd rewind the tape and have kept Samba. So, I'd rather start from where we were rather than where we are, sort of thing. Huh? How ridiculous.
So Matt, I was sitting there going, I hope if they go to penalties, I'm hoping they sub on Tony. No, were you not thinking that? I thought that was because the Australian national team has also done that in the penalty shootouts. It's good. Uncommon thing.
I wouldn't necessarily know anything. I wouldn't claim to know whether Vlachodimos is better or worse at saving penalties, really.
People in chat, let's put a debate on this, and I'll put a poll up. Like I said, we've got Brentford on Saturday. Who would you put in goal? I'll go around the panel. Who would put in goal against Brentford? Turner or Vlachodimos? Black, if you want to call it. Who would you put in goal? Matt, who would you put in goal?
But look, I think it's a really bad idea signing 2 equally good or equally bad goalkeepers. It's a bad dynamic, and it kind of sums up our sort of recruitment, doesn't it? You have a squad full of players that have all been told they're going to be playing, and they can't all play. And so you pick one, he makes a mistake, you put the next one in. do you keep the guy who's made a mistake, knowing that he's under extreme pressure now? If he makes another mistake, there's a guy breathing down his neck. It's a bad scenario. You want you want the best guy, an old guy, and an upcoming guy. That's all you need.
It's like you and I on this panel, Matt. We get dropped on this panel when we make mistakes and don't agree with Paul's opinions, and then you and I get dumped. And we've got Rads, who's the young guy, is in the up and coming one. Is that how?
Yeah, Rads is up and coming. I have to. Clearance though.
Well,
I'm not going to speak.
Well, I've got an old one. Yeah, okay.
So who would put in goal then, Matt? Who would put in goal against Brentford? Vlach or Turner?
It's difficult, isn't it? It's a toss of a coin. I really don't know.
Who would put in?
You'd want to know who. I haven't seen enough of them. I mean, neither of them demands the shirt, do they? Really? No. It's hard to make a case for either of them, really.
Who would do it? Who would put in? Who would put in? What about you, David? Who would put in?
I'll put in for Cosmos if you make me want to say, just because the fact that I think Turner could do with a little break, because I think his confidence might be gone. If he miskicks one in the first 10 minutes, it's going to be, what you do then. That's the only reason.
Who would you put in, David?
I'm Turner 100%. USA, baby. I just think we can train up his kicking of the football. I think we're going to need I think his shot stopping is just better than Blockademos. It's just a little bit better. And I haven't seen Vlad make a save where I'm thinking there's no wow moments in terms of any.
The second goal was poor though. The second goal was poor.
Yeah, so when has he made a save that's really helped us? Whereas Turner, I think, has that potential to save a worldly goal. So I'd go with Turner, and I'd just have a kicking coach.
Well, okay, it's 1-1. It's Rads. Who would you put in, Rads? Go on. He's on edge.
You can't say Hennessy.
Yeah, Wayne Hennessy, actually. No, I wouldn't go that far. I'd probably say Turner. I mean, I think both are, I don't know. Both of them are questionable. I think both of them have clearly got qualities, but they've also had a lot of edgy moments, which is why we're having this debate in the first place.
Yeah.
But,
there's a social image of Worrell in goals, actually.
Yeah, I think with Lash,
what game was it? Worrell was in goal. Stoke.
With Lash, I think it's he hasn't really done a great deal in terms of saves or big moments, and then he's letting a lot of cheap goals, I suppose. But
you can't. There's not been one he's made an error. If you're doing the top 4 errors, he's not in the charts, is he? Though, they're not. So
I just think with
I don't know. You don't want a goalkeeper that makes mistakes. I think that's the first thing. And not kicking isn't.
You also want a goalkeeper that can make saves. That has
but he's made some good saves, but he's also had them when he's been behind the goal and they haven't scored as well, which is tactically naive, isn't it? Being behind your goal, but it could have been worse.
Yeah.
The chat is a bit halfway through. Razdad said Turner as well. David says Turner. Friar Tuck says Vlach. Scott says Vlach or the institutions is more better than Turner.
The thing is, if Turner comes in and does anything wrong, you can never ever pick him again. Really, can you? It's a rehab job. It's Amy Winehouse straight away, straight off to rehab.
Oh days. Vlach said Vlach were playing in the UFC company before he joined us, and Turner was back up to that speaks himself. Yeah, but you can't say that, can you? What did he do for Benfica? Was he first choice at Benfica? I don't know if he was or not.
I think he was.
Was it?
Well, he's a Greek international. They're comparable, aren't they? There's not a lot in it. I think, like you say, if you take a vote, there's that's the problem. It shouldn't be like that, should it? The goalkeeper should be. That's the goalkeeper. There's no debate about it unless he's made several howlers. And and then you give him a little rest and let the kid come in and get a couple of games experience, and then when you think he's robust again, you put him back in again.
I just want to give a massive shout out to Jamie Rock and Soul. I met him before the game, and he did a vlog as well. He got me and Des on. So shout out to Jamie Rock. He did a vlog, so go and watch it. And I said Des was more famous than me. So yes, Des is more famous than me. So still Des on tour. not DoreOnTour. Okay, but shout out to Jimmy. So yeah, the chat says the 29 votes in. 72 says Turner, 28 says Black. So sorry, Matt.
Just because it's a commonly held belief doesn't make it true, does it?
It does, me. I'm just seeing what it says on the chat. That's all I'm saying.
No, that doesn't make it right, though, does it?
People in the chat, who did you vote for? Like I said, 72 says.
We always knew DoreOnTour fans were intelligent. That's why they know Turner is better.
It says a lot, really, about the keeper situation. That
after
that United game, Turner was like being hounded and was saying never play him again, and now suddenly everyone wants him back, or a lot of people do. It's like
it's stupid way of thinking, isn't it? Anyway, this is classic thing. It's like someone who's a hero, he's player of the match. 2 games later, never should wear that shirt again, and all this kind of nonsense. Someone breathes that Mangala might be sold. Oh, we don't need him anyway. You forget he's by far and away our best player for the whole season. We don't need him. We don't need him.
Vlak is worse goalkeeper than Pascoe. Raj, can you remember Pascoe?
I don't know how you can.
I can remember Pascal.
I don't know how you can come to that though, because you just haven't seen anything. The same guy probably would have said, "What an incredible signing! He's going to be the number 1 or something." When we signed him.
But did Pascal play for us? He was back up to.
I can still remember him being bad, but I can remember doing worse things than.
He was back up one to
he didn't play. He wouldn't play a lot, did he? I don't know whether that was by
design. Pascal was. I can't remember him playing. If I'm honest, but it was more back up to Dave Besson, was it? I'm sure it was.
I can remember him being bad though.
Pascal, bloody hell, Switzerland international as well. But yeah,
he was. You go.
Huh?
Look at you go. He was a Switzerland international.
Yeah,
there you go. Even Pascolo was a Switzerland international as a goalkeeper. So maybe it's not that hard.
It wasn't hard. People, please hit the like button if you can. Do a massive favor for me. Make sure everyone goes subscribe as well. Subscribe to Rad as well. We talk about individual players as well. Like I said, we'll talk about Ahmad Daly. Who else? Back 4. Nuno Tavares. Williams, Rads, what do you think about them two? Like Tavares, what's your thoughts on them? People in the chat as well. What's your thoughts on them? Anyone who want to talk about? But Rad, talk about individual players. Like, what's your thoughts on them?
I mean, I was happy to see Nico come in. Only Nico's I don't know. I like Nico a lot. I think he's a good player, but he also sometimes gets like exposed quite easily as well. Like I think the second goal. The guy that put the cross in, it was Nico that probably should have been covering him, but then he's done really well other than that. I think a lot of this season. But with Tavares, I mean that's more of a probably more of a one that I think we're all certain on in terms of, he's hardly played until the last couple of matches with a lot of mixed response to him. And he could even be going back to Arsenal. So, like, whether he wanted to play or not, he could be getting recalled for we know. But I felt he did all right when he came on against Blackpool in the first game. I think a lot of people were saying he did all right going forward, but not defensively. And then yesterday he was a bit up and down. I mean, I don't think he did too badly yesterday, but he weren't great either. So I don't know. I don't think he's the answer personally, Tavares, but.
Another player that's we are going to talk about. I'm going to say my opinion on Callum Hudson-Odoi, and there's one for Demir. How are you doing, Demir? Where was it? Where comment? For Demir, you need to give Hudson-Odoi more playing time on the pitch. David, Hudson-Odoi, like I say, he's come to Forest, and I thought he was a fantastic signing for us on the cheat as well, but he's not really give that oomph to us as yet, but. I still think he's still a great sign for Forest. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on him?
Well, just the upside with how much we paid for Hudson-Odoi compared to, Anthony Langer or even Gibbs White, in terms of, I guess, the comparisons. Like, I just think he has the potential to be so much better than what we paid for him. So I think we need to keep persisting with him. But yeah, when he first came in, I was thinking, oh yeah, he's going to be as good as a Langer. We're going to have 2 brilliant wingers here. And he just hasn't really kicked on and there were a few moments where he, I kind of liken it to when when the wingers or the attacking players get the ball, are you like wow moments or standing up or like, yeah, I'm really, what's going to happen now? And that doesn't really happen too much with Hudson-Odoi. I feel it happens more with Langer and Gibbs-White. And so, yeah, I just feel like if he was really the class player, he would have come on and carved them up. And so I felt, comparing him to Genie in a Bottle, Brandon Aguilera, I thought he had more class and a bit more. I'm going to try and make that stick. I thought he had a bit more class and just had a bit more like, oh, what's going to happen here moments in attack. Whereas I don't think we're getting that from CHO.
What's your thoughts, Matt, on him, on Hudson-Odoi?
Yeah, well, yeah, all of the previous, but he just hasn't had the ball sort of run through him, has he? He hasn't really quite had a sniff at goal. He's done a few nice little runs where he's cut in and he's given go and come across, and then he's just played the easy ball. He just hasn't. He just hasn't had the run of the ball yet, and it's been frustrating. He probably just hasn't got quite that little last yard of pace or fitness or whatever just to make the difference, And potentially he could be our best player. So you kind of got to persevere with him a bit, but he hasn't done it yet, and I'm sure he's very frustrated and thinks he can do better. After that goal he scored at the beginning, he hasn't really had another sort of sniff, has he? It's not like he's been missing chances or he just. A lot of the service he's had hasn't been great, really, either. To be honest,
do you think he's missed? Like I was talking to Matt Des before the game. Do you think he misses Gibbs-White with him? Because I think he plays better when Gibbs-White is with him.
Yeah, well, it's a team game, isn't it? I mean, you look at these things individually, and then you think, well, you didn't play very well in that game, but it's like, yeah, but then he was playing with such and such against such and such, and. It's too easy to look at them individually and say, well, he's not very good. He did this wrong. There's much more to it than that. And I don't know. He hasn't had the sort of run of the ball yet. And we certainly haven't seen the best of him, have we? You can't be doing cartwheels about him at the moment. He probably hasn't been fit. He has missed a few games. He hasn't had a run going. He's only really had a couple of shots at goal. So, what can you say? There just hasn't been much. But having said that, he's a winger. He's on the pitch. He's up that end of the pitch. He should be doing stuff like that. There should be some stats. There should be some things going on. But it hasn't done yet. So,
another player that I'm getting this to Rads. As everyone knows, Mangala has been linked with a move to Juventus, Galatasaray. Who's the other one?
Napoli.
Who?
Napoli. They're linked with
Napoli as well. I thought he was going to play, but he started. What was your thoughts on Mangala, Rads? As well, people in the chat, what's your thoughts? Do you want him gone? Yes or no? I've always talked to Pan about Mangala, but what's your thoughts on Mangala, Rads?
I was the same. I was really surprised he played yesterday. I felt if he wasn't in the team, he probably would have been going. So I'm hoping that the fact that he didn't just make the bench, but started and played the whole, what ended up being 120 minutes, that means that he may very well be staying. And it was a real shock when I saw that link from quite a reliable source saying that he might be off to some pretty creditable clubs, big clubs, which says we're lucky to have him, really. But for me, we should absolutely be keeping him. I think he's gone under the radar, really, at times. I think this season he's finally got a lot more credit, deservedly. He kind of he does go under the radar as a player, really. He just kind of does the important work, just in his own time. Like no one really. It's not like a player that lights it up, like Gibbs-White, for example. But he's very important to the team.
He's the new Jack Colback. Just say it. Just say it.
I'll go with that.
Jack Colback.
Oh, no. I thought he actually did his. I think by playing him, we improved his price. And I think he would look like one of the winners coming off the pitch.
He made a winning tackle. Was it him who made a winning tackle?
Well, he made the block.
Right at the end, didn't he?
He made the block. And if you consider how late that block was, that was a 109th minute, 110th minute, something like that. Yeah. He wasn't sprinting at the full pace. I remember thinking he could be running fast. I'm like, wait a minute, it's 110th minute. I thought he did himself a really good service in terms of the quality of the output that he had. Sure, he was coming a bit deep on the ball, playing as the kind of middle almost back in a back three, coming that deep for the ball at times. But I thought he looked a class above the rest of the players on the field, and I think selling him, given that we're going to make money on that sale, and I don't think he's crucial to the squad, I think I think we have to say thanks, Mr. Mangala.
Why though? What's the point? What's the point of signing anyone? What is the point when you get a good one? You sell the good one to buy more crap. I don't understand it. The whole point of signing players is to find a good one. You find the best one, arguably. Who are the best signings we've made? Awonyi, if he's fit, yeah, maybe.
Taiwo's the best signing we've made.
Well, not if he's not fit.
He's not fit.
But yeah, Taiwo kept us up single-handedly. Yeah, Taiwo maybe, but Mangala's got to be close. He's been the best player this season.
What do we get? Mangala was bought in for what, 12 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, so why make a few million to buy a guy who's just played his first game with the profit?
So we can then go and spend. So we can then go spend 15 million on Chris Wood.
Yeah, well that's it. Well, I've said, and
hey,
he's got no.
Leave Woody alone. Hey, David, leave Woody alone, man. He scored.
Well, I'm team Chris Wood, just so we're clear and abundantly clear. I've always been on the Chris Wood bandwagon.
No, but financially, it's pure insanity.
It is. You're right. Well.
We're going to have to buy him again at the end of the season. You know, if what's the for 15, 20 million for a year, you can buy a 200 million pound player and put him on a 10-year contract, can't you? If you want, or a 5-year contract for 100 million one. It's insane amount of money.
So you think we should keep Mangala, Matt?
Well, of course you should. Else, why are you going out buying? It's like going to the shops and buying a suit that suits you, and you go, I'll tell you what, I'll chuck it out and I'll go back down to Mr. Buy-Right and buy a few more, buy 3 crappy ones. You know, what's the point? You're trying to find the good ones that work for you. Because
Mangala,
he's the best player. Just tell me a better player. And it's like, he's the guy that makes it.
You'd be selling Yates, not...
Hey, David, don't start on Yates here, man.
But technically, he's the best player. There's no doubt about it. He's a top 6 player. There's no doubt about it. You don't play in the Belgian midfield week in, week out unless you know how to play football.
He never gives the ball away. Matt. I think you're right.
He's a brilliant player. He's the first player you keep, just like Samba was the first one you write on for the Premier League when we got promoted. It's daft. You don't piss around when you got something right, because even with all the best will in the world, you sign 2 players, one of them's going to be crap. If you're Nottingham Forest, you sign 4 players, one of them's going to be good and 3 of them are going to be crap, So it's just a law of averages. You keep the good ones, you get rid of the ones which aren't very good and try and find another good one. People say, go out and buy a winger and buy a centre forward. You're not going to, 25 million euros, you're not going to get a good winger and a good forward that's good enough to take us to the next level. We've got people better than that already.
Raj, would you keep him? Keep him or sell him? People in the chat, I've done a poll. What would you do, Mangala, keep or sell? Raj, over to you.
Definitely keep. Yeah, no doubt. As soon as I saw the reports of him potentially going, I wasn't even in my thinking really that he could leave. I know he's been amazing for us, and I wasn't really still expecting anyone. Obviously, clubs are going to be interested in him. But I wasn't really expecting him to leave, and I really hope he doesn't, at least until the summer. And even then I want to keep hold of him because he's a really important player to us. I think he's only grown this season. I think he's only got better.
Yeah, but wait. So let me try and flip it, right? Okay, because everyone, I see the chat, 20%, 80% says keep, 20 says no. Let's flip it. Everyone keeps saying keep Mangala, but would you sell Yates hypothetically to David? Would you sell Yates?
I think based on the benefits of the financial fair play move and the finances, we derive more benefit from selling Yates, but it also depends on the offer. Thinking of the business of it, I'm not sure we ever get a higher offer for Mangala than right now. Whereas I'm not sure that we've been shopping.
How much do you think he's worth? I think he's been taunted about
25 million. If we can get 25 million, 30 million for him, then yeah, absolutely. At 20, I'd probably not. So
what about you, Matt? Matt's face, he just looks.
Well, why do you buy, half that money you spend on a centre half you have no intention of playing?
That's a different choice. That's a different decision.
And you go and get a blood guy with a broken leg. Yeah, but that's where they're going to spend the money on someone else. You've got a good one. You've got a world-class player. Is that not for us? I was sitting in the stands. We're going, Christ, it's tough without Taiwo, but thank God we've got Mangala. You know, you'll be stabbing yourself in the eyes to think, oh, I'll tell you what, let's get rid of Mangala now. Let's see how.
Not getting rid of them. It's we got them in. They improved with us, like Peaches is saying in the comments, and then we move on to the next person. Like that's just the business of the Premier League.
No, but it's not. You're trying to improve the team, aren't you? That's why you make the signings. You're putting the horse before the car. If you just want to be able to sign people, just get a bigger credit limit on your credit card and keep spending money like a crazy person. No, the whole point of buying people is to improve the team. I don't understand the obsession with keep buying people. I've always said that.
Well, there's also that.
You wait. We've gone out and bought people in haste, and on the whole, we haven't signed well, have we? You know, no. The ones we got right, for Christ's sake, keep them. You know, don't compound your mistake by not only being bad at buying, but also being bad by selling the ones you should know are good. We should have known Samba was good. You know, Colback. We didn't want to buy him, did we? We had him on loan multiple times and stuff. And
I said this on every stream, and Matt will know. I got Colback at the start of everything, and then I said sorry after.
But we keep doing it. You know, the players you have think, oh, no, we can do better with our goalkeeper. Oh, we've got a good left back. Oh, let's try and get a better left back now. Finally, we got one right. Maybe we're good at buying left backs now. And you keep churning. And truthfully, you know, we haven't figured out a goalkeeper like you just said. You know, have we figured out our centre backs? Yeah, we've got like a Brazilian kid that's really good, but we're going to sell him anyway. So we're going to have to start all over again, apparently, because he's played well for 15 games or something. So, you know, Taiwo isn't fit. You've got to kind of think, you know, I keep saying about, I'm a banger wingy or whatever. Costing half as much as what we're going to get from Mangala. But if you can get one game out of him, you know.
Also respect to his name, okay? Yeah, I'm a Bomadelli, yeah?
I'm a Bomadelli.
Even I can get it right. And that's shocking from me. That's shocking from me.
I think Matt is right that they have to get better with the signings. So I think you could handle selling Mangala if they don't go and just blow an absolute fortune on just absolutely outrageously, stupidly high signings. And so
if you think he's good, keep him. Keep the good ones, sell the bad ones.
No one's going to buy the bad ones, Matt.
No, but don't. But that I agree. Don't buy him in the first place. Appreciate.
But we have got them. That's the position we're in. This is such a good chat.
Yeah. I know. But you keep the good ones you've got.
That's
the first thing, because you're not good at. Yeah. But that's.
But we've also got too many players. Like Nuno's come out and said we've got to dump some players so you know, if we're going to sell some players, which we should do, then you've got to play. You've got to shop your ones around. He played Mangala, I think, so that he can increase his price because he looked good.
That's insanity. If you're trying to sort of impress. Playing Blackpool in the cup, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's bargain basement stuff, isn't it? You
know. Before we do, thank you again.
Matt. This is so good.
Legend, Andrew Sharp for the £2. Thank you, Mr. D. Great guest tonight, buddy. Yes, we had to get David from International Duty and Matt from FFP as well. So that it's good to have. As well, appreciation and love to everyone in the chat as well. But it's a good debate. I get what Matt's saying. Like I said, we've got to keep Mangala because I will talk about FFP later on throughout the show. But I just want to get the Blackpool game out of the way as well. But
we covered FFP, I think, without knowing.
Let's finish off with the Blackpool game before we do talk about FFP. Yeah. So that is the main subject that we want to talk about. But we're through to the next round. Let's keep it real. We're through to the next round. But Raz, we was looking let me get Raz because Raz, with you, Matt, and Dave been chatting. Raz just sat there just chilling.
Chilling. Yeah.
Just chilling. But yeah, and thank you as well, chat. I know there's loads of comments that keep them flying up and high as well. But thank you, chat. Keep the message up and down, please. But Raz, we're through to the next round. But let's try as well, chat. Get involved. Do you want a cut run? Like, why not? We had a cut run on the Cooper. Was it Liverpool? Who lose to? Blackpool. Liverpool, yeah. Liverpool. But do you want a cut run, Rads?
Yeah, I love cut runs. You know, I think people have people sometimes say it's like a distraction, but I think we saw in that promotion it only boosted us. And last season, reaching the League Cup semi-finals, I think it's a really good thing. We made hard work of Blackpool. Obviously, we managed to get through, and I don't think we can say, because we don't have to play West Ham now, it's an easy game against Bristol, because they just beat West Ham, and that won't be an easy tie at all. But it's certainly more favourable than some games we could have had. So yeah, we should be pretty thankful for that, and take it seriously. It can only help us if we want to stay in the league. Have every bit of help you can get. I know you can get players injured and then replays and ending up playing extra time. That's not a good thing. But yeah, for me, I want to stay in the cup as long as possible. Ideally, try and make a point of yourself as best you can.
Mark, do you want a cup run, or should Forest focus on the Premier League?
Well, I don't know about you. I always think we train too much in general. So I think, you can play. I think playing football matches is probably what we need more than anything. So yes, in short, let's stay in the cup, give them a few days off training, give a few of the people who won't play otherwise a chance to play, whether it's getting picked or whether it's because you're playing extra time and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think playing games and winning games of football is a good thing to do. So yeah, why not? Cloughie would always, in the good old days, you wanted to win every football match, didn't you? So, I think it's a good thing.
David, cup run, yes or no?
Definite yes. Ideally, you want to be playing your fringe players in the cup team, and you want them to get on a run. So we want the Omabamadeles, and we want the Hudson-Odois getting 90 minutes, and we want all of those guys getting access to the team and having a run. And then I think just the wins in the cup actually breed confidence, because then people are trying to get into the team. Oh, yep, I want to get into the cup. And like we should be a Premier League team finishing 10th or 12th. And so what have we got? We're not getting relegated. We're not winning the league. So we've got to be on a cup run. So that's what we should be building for. And just the drama of it. So good. And also the extra cash. And we have enough players. So, and then we get to see the other. And if it wasn't for FA Cup matches, then Matt and I don't get to argue on the show about which goalkeeper should play. So I think we clearly need to be in the cup.
I think it would be the same in the league, though. I think there'd be one then the other. So I don't think we need the cup for that.
Well, before we do that, we've got a fellow Aussie, Anthony. He's from Australia, David. So
we love the Aussies.
Yeah, he's wondering about Mangala. If Mangala isn't getting a lot of game time, he wants to move to stay in the Belgian team for years, but he can do that for Forest.
He'll if he isn't getting picked, then there's something else wrong, isn't there? He's not been our best player. Sure, I thought when Nuno dropped him, maybe they were trying not to play football and just get it forward fast and stuff, and that's fine. There might be games they don't pick him, but he's our best midfielder and the most versatile midfielder. So even if you want to put Sangare back in his position, if you honestly, in your wildest dreams, think he can do that job as well as him, fine. But he can do whatever job Sangare has been doing better anyway. So.
I'm just going to go for the chat before we do talk about who's man of the match. Shout out to Glenn. How you doing, Glenn? Why not? Cup run did wonders for confidence of the team. Number of injuries and fatigue of key players is concerning, though. It is a concern. Like a few players, like
the injuries was bad last night, wasn't it? That was the worst thing about
it. Went off yesterday injured. Who else went injured?
Both the centre halves potentially got little knocks.
Yeah, Marie got injured as well. So we are getting cut short players. But
I don't think they were too serious, to be honest. But still not good.
We are. This is a player that we are going to discuss. David, he's getting ready.
It's coming. Don't worry, Paul.
We are going to talk about
it's coming.
We are discuss how good Aguilera was. But come on, David, go on.
How good was he? Like, that is why you want the cup runs. You just want to give, a couple of your fringe players a chance to come on. And certainly, who was the winner out of that match, and who, we're now talking about Brandon Aguilera on this podcast. We're probably going to give him 5 minutes, chatting about how good, just the pace, and also I thought when he had the ball and we were close to the Blackpool penalty box, I thought, what's going to happen here? And I just thought he looked great. And so I'd be getting him in certainly some minutes in the next match against Brentford. I thought he's terrific. I'm jumping on board. I want it to be known. My take. Aguilera.
Have you seen him play before at all, though? Was that the first time you saw him?
A little bit.
Yeah, no, because
I haven't seen much of him. But I'm just jumping on the bandwagon.
I've seen him play 6, 7, 8 times or something for the 21s and pre-season, as you've probably seen him, Ben, as well, quite a few times.
And what would you think of those, Matt?
No, he's been brilliant. I've been really impressed all the time. Every game, he's played well. He's been creative. He does things in a different way. He's a good player. You know, from the beginning of the season, we were saying he should be coming off the bench when we need something different. You know, because he's not. He's not ready to start. I don't think that at all. But not at this point, not from what we've seen. But he's a really good option off the bench, and we haven't got many attacking options. Have we?
He's a central player, typically, not a winger.
Well, he can play anywhere, really. You know, he could play 10. He could play instead of Gibbs White. You know, if Gibbs White needs a break, we're winning or something, or we just want someone fresh, you could put him on instead of Gibbs White or something in the 10 or whatever. He can play anywhere. That's one of his strengths, I think.
He's fast.
But he's got a fast brain as well and good delivery. Yeah. He uses both sides.
When he come on, when he did come on, and I said I was there, people. I thought he did well. Him and Toffolo, when they come on, him and Toffolo were really good on the left-hand side. So, like I said, me and Max watched him for the under-23s, and I was really impressed with him. But the question is he ready for Premier League football? That's the main thing. So people
it's hard to do week in, week out, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to be a great player to do it week in, week out. But if you're the guy,
that's the question I asked, man.
Yeah. But if you're a guy who can come on and do something once in a while, that's something different, isn't it? And no one will be prepared for him. They won't have a big dossier on Aguilera, will they? So he can surprise a few people. You know, you wouldn't pick him week in, week out. There's very few players who ever appear that you can do that with. But he's a good player. He's an asset, and I think he could be around for a little while and become, relevant to us, even this season.
We'll just do a little shout out. Mark, thank you for being a member to my channel for 19 months. People, if you want to be a member to my channel or to Rad's channel, please do be a member. Like Rad's channel, Rad's is a title is in the description. So make sure everyone subscribe to myself and Rad's. And he is here. How are you doing, Mark? I hope you're good. Jason, he's flying into Nottingham. Yeah, he is.
Whatever it's called this week, the B team 21.
Yeah,
he's going to get some minutes, isn't he? Because we just don't have any wingers. So he's getting a run. Like whether we like it or not, we're about to find out. And from what I saw so far, I'm excited at the prospect of him playing. So let's get him in there.
We're going to cut to Blackpool. Like people will chat. Who was your man of the match yesterday for the Blackpool game? Please get the chat now. Who was your man of the match and the team rating? Rad has been kept quiet because, like I said, these two are just talking. That's why
I'm just vibing here, just chilling.
He's just there chilling. Like I said, chilling again. Rad, who's your man of the match? People in the chat as well get involved. Who's your man of the match?
I mean, it's hard to pick a man of the match because ultimately, like, we made hard work of a League One side, really, and you have to credit to Blackpool for coming back into it, but it's only really because we let them. And yeah, everyone knows that I like Ryan Yates, but I probably would have to pick him because he got 2 assists. But at the same time, I get why some people are saying he weren't like top notch because I don't think anyone was top notch. Really.
Can I put in? I'm sorry, Ryan. When me and Des was talking about Yatesy, and when you're there live, he did 2 assists. I don't want to disrespect Blackpool, but I just don't think he was that great. Everyone wasn't great, but I
see where you're coming from. Yeah, I can't.
But for seeing 2 goals up, I just don't think he was the Ryan Yates. He just kept the ball too long for me. Sorry, Davio. Carry on.
I think I probably would stick with Yates overall, but I think maybe Dominguez because he continues to like show why. Because it was weird when he got dropped at the end of when Cooper was here. I think he had an illness or something that wasn't helping. But before that, he was like constantly playing and he was this key player. And now he's come back in. He's been amazing, that goal against Man United. And obviously, he's kind of playing out of position, really. He's playing as a false winger or attacking midfielder. And I know I've never seen anyone press so well. Like, he's so good at that and causing problems. It's how we scored that second goal by hurting the goalkeeper, and then Danilo was there. So I think Dominguez, he could definitely improve. but I think he's probably another shout, maybe for man of the match. But I'd probably stick with Yates overall. But no doubt, I think both of them are very important to how we play.
Okay. Matt, who's your man of the match?
I mean, I was looked at the BBC thing, and all their players were rated higher than all our players. So you could pick almost anyone. I thought Jordan Gable actually played really quite well over both legs as well, just for a little mention. For
Jordan Gable, ex-Forest player, people.
Yeah.
It's funny. You know what's funny, Matt? You know when he played the City ground? People, I think so. How has no one recognised as Jordan Gable? When he scored the first goal. I said, and some people said to me, "Why are you doing this?" I mean, he used to play for Forest. These people around me like, did they? I went, yeah. Didn't you watch?
I didn't expect it to be him because I didn't expect him to be there. What was he doing?
I didn't. I thought he was injured.
That was the things like what? Yeah, but no. So I actually didn't think we played that badly. I think you've got to give a lot of credit to Blackpool because they made a really good fist of it. Out of not very much. I think in a way you've got to give them a lot more credit because we dominated a lot of the game, but they made it count occasionally, and we made a few silly mistakes, and they pounced on it, and they got the crowd behind them, and they made a game of it. So I give them every credit to them, really. I didn't think we played that badly. I thought Murillo was good. Again, he's always just a pleasure to watch play, and I don't know anyone.
I'm still worried about him, Matt. I'm still worried about Murillo.
Well, he makes lots of mistakes, though. This is again, it's a it's like the he does better. He heads the ball. Well,
if you want to agree, I still think he can head.
I think he can head better than you're suggesting, but it isn't his strength. McKenna can head better.
McKenna can head.
Probably Joe can head better. So it isn't his strength, but he's a wonderful. But that's it. You can't have everything, can you? I mean, he heads the ball all right, though. I don't think he's a total liability. Nia Carthay
he's a young player, though, isn't he?
I don't think Musa can head as well as him. Do you?
No.
So there you go. No one mentions that.
What's my point?
But that's the blend. That's what you want.
That's my point. Like we can go back to the Chelsea away game, and when we played, when we got Joe Worrell and Scott McKenna. Who can head the ball and we win the game?
No. They're championship. They're strictly championship. No. They can't do anything in the Premier League.
Why?
What are you talking about? They can't. They can't. You must have imagined that happened. They're strictly championship players. The fact is, you probably look at every other team. The whole of the teams are some of the ones below us for sure. They're all strictly championship. It's like it's crazy. But anyway, going back, Murillo was good. Mangala was man of the match. If you actually had a bit of paper and gave him ticks for when he did nothing wrong. I don't think he did literally anything wrong, and he did a lot right. So I would have to say Mangala. Wood didn't get much service.
He didn't.
Nothing.
No, he got nothing. He got nothing.
Nothing.
Like you say, Yates is Yatesy. I think again, people say. He had the 2 assists, great. So on paper, he potentially is man of the match. But like you say, I don't think he was man of the match the way he played. But I think he played okay for Yatesy. That's Yatesy. He did his job. He did his job okay.
The pitch, when you're there,
the pitch was horrible. The pitch was horrible for everyone. Yeah, it didn't help us.
In the corners, it was horrible as well. So I'm surprised the game was on because I think.
Yes.
How much ice and snow was behind the advertising fence?
Loads as well. David, who's your man of the match?
Well, I'm just gonna build on Matt's comments here. I think Yatesy looked comfortable playing a League One team, and that's why everyone's talking about how well he played. Because that's back to Matt's point around, Worrell and McKenna being championship.
What did I say about this disrespecting Ryan Yates? You're doing it again. Stop it. Leave him alone.
But I'm just building up to the fact that I am 100% agreeing with Matt that Mangala looked a class above the rest, and he was the man of the match. And the key moment in the match was the Mangala, save off the goal line to save the goal at 2-2 when Blackpool were going to score. So I think given that, I thought his distribution was okay. I thought he improved his sales price. Mangala man of the match for mine. I thought it was pretty clear.
Yeah, sale price about 80 million by now.
Yeah, Matt might sell him for 80 million.
No, but in Forest, in our sort of currency, he's worth 80 million to us because we'll have to spend 80 million to find another one as good.
Well, I think it's also just useful for us to have gotten him on the. If we are thinking about selling him, then we're having one more look at him, and maybe that is going to make us think twice about selling him.
I hope so. Because you wouldn't want Danilo playing in that role, would you?
No,
not in your worst nightmare.
Danilo looks just lost.
He's getting better, to be fair to him, but even that goal was a bit lucky, wasn't it?
That was us.
He was like, the guy should have saved it. I would have fancied my chances of keeping that one out.
It only just like ricochet. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But to the point, that was a mistake.
Who's man of the match?
Mangala.
Yeah. So 2 for Mangala. So that's that one sorted out.
Okay. So my man of the match. Mangala for me. Mangala.
I can go with that as well. I can definitely do it. All of these.
Blackodemos.
Mangala.
Yeah, Blackodemos. Yeah.
Blackodemos. Toffolo did look good.
Toffolo, come on. You know what?
Toffolo looked good.
I'm so happy you can't give it to him for 5 minutes, but he was all right. Yeah.
Oh, Toffolo, come on. And I thought, when I said to me, Aguilera and Toffolo, come on, I thought Toffolo was fantastic when he come on. If I'm honest,
I thought McKenna and Worrell were okay when they came on.
Yeah, the band come back. So that's what I said.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, they were.
I said 2 people who can head the ball. That's what.
Yeah.
It's tough though. It's tough though coming on in a cold night for 5 minutes at the end of a game when they're bombing you and they're just going to bomb you. You just know that's what's going to happen. That striker was good for them, wasn't he? The dirty one that kept fouling. The I forget his name. The dark-haired one that was. He came on as a sub. He was good. He was good.
Was it Dembele?
No, he was terrible. They said every time, this guy is magic. He's got a box of tricks, and his box of tricks was crap. Yeah, he was crap. He ran the ball off the side of the pitch and everything. It was like it was his worst ever performance, I'm sure.
He was fast. He should have scored though. If I'm honest,
he should have. He
had
a terrible night.
Mangala saved it with his butt. I think it was with his butt or something.
Mangala saved it with his. Look at that.
That shows how good he is.
Yeah. Right. Bloody hell, we've done 53 minutes. I wanted our show. We'll try and make it quick as possible. Let's talk about Brentford game. Make this quick. We'll start with you, David. What players would you keep in from the Blackpool game? Because like I said, Brentford a tough game. Tony's back after 8 months. What players would you keep?
It's such an unknown with Tony returning for that match, isn't there? Because the players with the long layoffs frequently, just can't explode back out of the gates. But what are they, like 5 losses in a row or something? Nothing like a match against Forest to get a team back in form. So that is certainly a fear for us. In terms of the players, I'd certainly be assessing the fitness level. Toffolo is a must pick for me at left back. I think he's a must. I think Mangala, if fit and okay, I'd probably throw him in there. And obviously, look, we don't have any other strikers, so Chris Wood's got to play. So I just think we're actually running out of players at the moment. So I'm not sure we even have the luxury of talking about. Like it's a more matter of who's fit just plays, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it's the goalie debate and
who could be left out? The goalie and McKenna and Wood, McKenna and Worrell, and then basically everyone else we have available is getting picked, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a hard one, isn't it? Brentford likes to Tony's a good player, but he's going to be rusty.
He's going to be rusty. So was Danilo injured, or is Danilo going to be right to play?
Everyone's getting injured, aren't they? Everyone's getting injured.
Then you can have Yates and Mangala again, like playing 2 days later after 120 minutes. That's quite an ask.
I personally think Alanga will play. I don't know if anyone's seen his Instagram post on that. I think Alanga will play. But
it's such a big match for us. It's
a massive game. I think that's a
match. If we win this,
that's a make and break because we've got to get points. Well, we've not mentioned FFP a bit, but I think that's a different show. Or just people want to talk about it.
My only comment on it is, let's take the penalty now. 6 points. This is the season. We'll be 6 points above the drop zone. Who cares?
Do you want to talk about FFP now? Right, let's make it quick then, because like I said, I want to make it our show. We'll start with you, David. You start with it. What do you think of it? FFP. Do you want to get?
I think it's back to the original point of just some outrageously stupid spending, and just not managing the finances. But I can understand the excitement that the Marinakis family and the the club was under in terms of signing the players. And I think when you look at it, it's grossly unfair that Nottingham Forest, who got promoted, who had a whole bunch of loan players, are expected to be able to compete with Manchester City and not able to spend some money. And so it's not unreasonable to go out and splash out and buy 41 players to try and stay in the most lucrative competition in the world. And that's what we should be doing. And so I think there's a restraint of trade in terms of, how we can operate. Like, it's just not fair. Like, how are we meant to compete if we couldn't purchase any players? Yeah. So we end up, playing Harry Arter. Like, what do you want? You've got to actually protect the quality of exactly. You've got to protect the quality of the Premier League. So I can understand the mistakes, and I could kind of rationalize it, and and I think we should I think the Premier League this season will be much weaker this season than next. I don't fancy a 10-point penalty next season. Whereas I think if we take a 6-point penalty now, I think we still stay up. I think we could even survive a 10-point penalty. Maybe with the injuries and the AFCON's going to hurt us a little bit, but I just think it'll galvanise the team. Whereas if we're minus 10 at the start of next season, that's going to be awfully hard against a promoted Leicester. Like the three bottom clubs, they're duds. They're not any good.
Duds. Sheffield United, dud team. Yeah.
Duds.
Sorry, Jimmy.
They're duds. So,
send him down. That's what I'll say. Sheffield United, go down. Don't care about you. Please go down. Matt, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, all that, but
all that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we've got to disagree. You have to just disagree.
No. I'll just add the supplementary.
Don't worry about it. I think disagree. Rad is ready.
We should start talking about cricket. Probably that'll be the safer ground. But anyway, never mind. But it's not fair. Financial fair play is not fair. They should call it something different. It's about maintaining the status quo more than anything. It's sort of a segue into the Super League kind of thing. So it's not fair. We're stupid to have transgressed. It's stupid people saying somehow Brennan's to blame because he should have gone earlier and cost us whatever 15 million quid that we, by agreeing to go to a crappier team earlier or deciding that was good for his career.
I think.
But that's forcing us to lose £15 million.
Well, yeah, no, you don't do that. You don't do that. We should.
How can you do that? Yeah.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. And they shouldn't do it. When you get promoted, they shouldn't be counting the championship year. They should forget about that. They should pretend it's because you're in the Premier League. We're not in the Championship now, so you kind of forget that. Whatever you did, you say you're a Premier League team. You get the Premier League allowance for that year. We should have gone to them and said, look, we're 2 months. I don't know whether we did. Maybe we did. We should have gone to them and say, look, we're going to hold on to him for a bit longer. The story was we were fine anyway, and we were selling him for the next year, weren't we? And it was like we're going to be super chilled now that we've got all this money in the bank. We were supposed to be fine anyway. It turns out that we had to sell him for the Brentford price to be okay, and we didn't, and we got more money later. So yeah, well, that was kind of stupid straight away. Why, that's the obsession with spending money. Why do that? There wasn't a big queue for people trying to buy him, was there? I mean, maybe he'll end up being the next Stan Collymore and be the greatest player we've ever had. I hope so, because he needs to be, sort of thing, because we spaffed all that money on him straight away. We've got to stop just spending money stupidly, irrational.
Yeah.
Spending, if you go to the shops and you keep buying all the wrong ingredients, so you've got no food to eat. Yeah. If you buy everything past its sell-by date, you're going to starve, aren't you? So it's the insanity of keep spending. It all goes around, I would have loved to have just kept the promotion team together and added a Niakate, a Mangala, a Wanyi and a Gibbs-White. Just imagine that. If you'd kind of basically kept the team together, I think we'd have been fine. I think we'd have a better team now.
Why didn't we sign James Garner, for example?
Well, it would have, yeah. I mean, to be fair, all those players that got us up suddenly tripled in value, didn't they?
Yeah.
They were asking crazy money for it. But we could have bought Jed Spence for less than we did Williams and all that kind of stuff. We could have kept Sam, but there's a lot of stuff we could have done. I'd have loved to have seen us to keep that team together, because all this constant changing, I don't care how good the players are, whether you end up with actually a tangibly better team, I'm not sure. And you can never, ever get that. we're starting to get it a bit, but then if we start buying more players now, we're going to lose it all over again, and we're going to never, when do we actually start saying, okay, we'll play now? We've got our fantasy football team together now. We'll try and improve it. We'll try and actually play with this team. You can't constantly churn. So, yeah, I just wish we'd stuck with the team we got promoted with. We should have kept within financial fair play. It's not fair anyway, but we knew the rules.
Last but not least, Raj, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what everyone's been saying, really. It's the whole thing in terms of FFP itself is, it is a joke, really, in terms of the way it's run. We look at the big clubs, they get away with it. Unless it's Man City and that, it's a whole different ball game, and yet smaller teams get punished, and the whole thing isn't really fair, ironically, because it's by the name of financial fair play. It's not fair. But when it comes to us, I mean, yeah, we had to spend a lot of money ultimately, or just you had to bring in a lot of players. But I do agree that did we really need to spend as excessively as what we did? And there's certainly a lot of players that we signed that didn't particularly need to sign, and we just ended up doing the scattergun approach, which I suppose was always going to happen to some degree. But yeah, I mean, we signed some players that just haven't even really played, or
players that's what Adam players just
not working,
sit on the sidelines, not even on the bench.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You want your money on the pitch. And we're playing Man U, who've been in the Premier League forever and won it quite a few times, and our bench is stronger than their bench. Shouldn't happen, should it? That's tactically naive. You don't want to have a brilliant bench and the people not even in the squad that they'd have on their bench. Yeah. It's madness. We've got too much quantity, not enough quality.
100%.
I agree, though. Just one more point on it is that I really just want us to have a stable team, stop us constantly throwing 10 players out every summer. Because at the end of last season, we finally managed to get a good run of games together when none of us could really see it coming. We played some really good football. And I was just thinking, all right, we don't need to go too mad here. There's a few low knees, like Loddy and the goalie situation, sort that out. We certainly needed maybe 5 or 6 players to push, and it looked like it was going to be that most of the summer because it was really quiet, and then we just went mad on the last day. And I just feel, it was typical Forest. We did really slow, and then just we couldn't resist the urge to sign 13 players. You just don't need to do that. And the volume of money that we spent, again, no wonder we're being done for it. But again, the whole thing's a bit of a joke. So, I think the whole system needs to be rethought, to be fair. But if we do get a points penalty, I think we can come back from it. I really do.
100%. I think we can. But like I said, I think the FFP is a bit of a joke. We can say we brought the wrong players in, but what do you expect to do? We had to spend money.
But look, the product's got worse, hasn't it? With VAR, with the money side of it, the Premier League's not a great product now. The football is worse. And they've got I'd rather see a wage cap or some kind of a bond where you buy a football club.
I think that will come soon.
If every team was on the same wage cap, every team was on the same wage cap, then that would actually be a fair system. And so then you come up, and then I go, all right, well, the teams that come up, they've got a whole bunch of extra wage cap that they can go and use. And then that makes it actually fairer. So then if you have a wage, then there's a whole bunch of strategies that come into whether you spend all of your wage on your top 8 players and the rest, or you have a bigger squad and how you manage that. But the problem is that some of the teams in the Premier League are playing more matches in Champions League and whatnot. And so they kind of need bigger squads, or, do they get allowances because they've got to play more matches? Maybe they shouldn't. But it just seems grossly unfair. But, let's take the penalty now, move on. As long as it's not 20 points.
If they don't want to play in Europe, we can take their place. I'm sure we will. I think we'd bite their hand off.
Well, when we win the FA Cup and go on the cup run,
Europe. Yeah, I want a cup run. I want a cup run. I want to win FA Cup.
I just want to send Dore bankrupt on a big Europe run next season. All the different matches next year.
Listen to me. Going abroad, like I say, Valencia and all the German two clubs. It feels like Valencia was the best away day. Forest fans all over the place. I want a European tour. That's
a Europa League final where we win that door.
Yeah,
that will be the best away.
Even what's the other one? The Europa. What's the other one?
Conference League.
Even the conference. Why not? That'd be mine. I want a European tour, but you don't know. We can only hope and wish. Before we do go, I'm gonna get everyone's predictions for the Brentford game. So if you are rewatching this, and in the chat as well, what is your score for Saturday's game for Brentford v Forest? It's on Sky, 5:30. I'll get the lads' score predictions as well. But before you do, please do hit the like button as well. Subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure everyone subscribes to Rads as well. His link is in the title. Score prediction, lads. We'll start with you, Matt. What's your score prediction?
I think we'll get a draw. I think we can get a draw. I don't really know with us at the moment. I think we're kind of all right. We're kind of fairly. To be honest, I think this season, whether they talk about Cooper or whether it's Nuno, we're fairly competitive. Putting aside 2 or 3 games, we're fairly decent competitive team. We'll give everyone a game. We'll probably get a draw. But we could just as easily win 3-0 if old Chris Wood's got his Newcastle boots out, chuck a couple of balls in the box instead of just one.
So yours draw. Rads, what's your score prediction?
I mean, I know Brentford aren't as strong as what they once were. Like, last season it was a tough game there. We very nearly won, and we should have really won that game. We're drawing them twice at home. So we're definitely due a win over them, but I do think it's tough, especially about Ivan Toney coming back. I'm
not worried about him. Everyone's worried about him if he's going to score some goals. I'm not worried.
It's not just because of him. I just think I don't know. I think we can win. But I think it is really a very close game. That so I'd settle for a draw personally. I think I'll probably go for 1-1, but I think honestly. It could be 2-1. It could be they could win. I don't know. It could really go either way. Honestly, I think it's a really big game for both teams. So hopefully we come out on top of it.
100%. Last but not least, David, what's your score prediction for
Forest galvanised after an epic FA Cup 3rd round win with the team getting behind all of the players and the manager, and they're feeling the pressure of the siege mentality. Forest win 2-0. With Harry Toffolo and Chris Wood both on the score sheet.
You hear it first. If that comes
Wood crosses it to Toffolo. Let's make it a little.
Toffolo. Wood takes the corner and Toffolo heads it in.
Toffolo good. Yeah, remember the Wolves game? Toffolo's got a good head on it.
But Wood didn't cross it. Wood didn't cross
Toffolo
it.
is the certain Toffolo starts at left back on. Let's just bring on the next game. How good is it? Like, come on, Nottingham Forest. We're in the Premier League. Let's go. Like, how can we not win? And I don't think Toney does anything. I think 8 months out is a lot of time, and I think his fitness will struggle. Yeah. So I don't. It's
just a psychological boost for them, isn't it? We haven't got to kind of fall for it and make it a psychological negative for us. We've got to kind of just be positive.
But there is nothing like a match against Nottingham Forest to get a team back in the form. We know this.
Jordan Rhodes or something like
that. Like, we just know. It's like, why do you do it?
I'll say, I've got a feeling it'll be a draw as well. I don't know why. I'm just thinking it'll be a draw. I'll say 1-1. Because who was it? Mbemo? Is he an African nation? AFCON? Is he an AFCON for Cameroon? Is there? Oh God, we've won then. I've changed the result. We're in 2-1.
I don't think it's available anyway. I know that.
That's all right then. But I know they got. Is it Rico Henry? He's out injured. Who they brought in from Spurs? The left back. They brought a player from Spurs. What's his name? People in the chat. Who's it? Who's Brentford bought from Spurs left back? I forgot his name now. But yeah, I'm going for it. I think Forest will win 2-1 now because. Yeah, I'm going for it.
Well, if we make the
until you find out it's Jed Spence and he scores 6 goals against us.
That's a regular.
2 hours show, you'll be convinced it's 6-0.
Regular.
And as well, and we said as well that both we're going to win. I'm on enough.
6-0.
I'm 2-1.
2-1. All right.
Chris Wood cross it, Toffolo to score a header.
Chris Wood on the wing. Tactical master stroke.
Yeah, you heard it first, people on the podcast. Chris Wood crossed it in, Toffler to score a back post header.
One last question: How far off is Chris Wood from wearing the captain's armband?
No.
Well, I reckon he's the next captain.
No.
Yates and who else is captain ahead of him? The Yates and Worrell. Morgan Gibbs wide out. I think he's the captain then.
That's a fair point.
And I think he's bringing the team together, and you can see with the way that he was acting. I think we've seen some real maturity from him. And
Toffolo should get the honorary captaincy, golden star. Yeah.
The captain should be whoever the goalkeeper is the captain.
Yeah, they just need the added responsibility, don't they?
There should be 11 leaders. 11 leaders on that pitch that can win the game. That's all I care about. Forest win, and we're going to win 2-1.
Let's go, baby.
Wood, wherever Toffolo, back post, 2-1 Forest. All right, it's been a great show. Thank you everyone for watching. If you have enjoyed this podcast, please do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. Make sure you subscribe to Raz. Raz, any videos coming up soon? You put that today, aren't you?
Yeah, my review to this game as well. So go and check that out, everyone. I'll do my.
Don't check out, everyone.
I'll do my sneaky little plug. Just, I'll do my Brentford thing as well. So yeah, just come and subscribe, really.
Go on, please, guys. I've had enough of saying Raz. So everyone subscribe to Raz because you still haven't subscribed to Raz. So if you haven't, please do because I'm like a broken record. So
yeah, I've got to overtake Ben somehow. So
Yeah, and soon David's doing a podcast soon.
Australian sports.
Yes.
I would never dream of trying to do a Nottingham Forest one because there's already 2 good channels. So yeah, I've got a rugby
there's
league.
more than that. There's more good channels. Come on, Rad. Come on, David. Let's just keep it.
Well, we're also going to do an episode in the off season, Ben, on the ecosystem of Nottingham Forest YouTubers and talking through the strategy and the.
Why are you getting involved with that? Listen to me. I'm not getting involved. What David said. We will talk about it. It's like contract. It's like we're in talks about it. Not.
Oh yeah, by saying it on the show that we're going to do it now, it's out there.
People in the chat. Do you want this to happen? Do you want this to happen to talk about other podcasters? It's nice. There's some really good ones out there as well. So
in the off season, should we do an episode on it? Not during the season. In the off season,
people. Do you think we should talk about other podcasters? There's loads and there's very, very good ones as well. If I'm honest, I'll watch all of them. If I'm honest, but. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Me and Dave will talk about it. But yeah, watch out for the end of the season. Watch that. All right. It's been a great show. Everyone, I'll be there. I'm going to do like a little preview tomorrow for the Brentford game. Tomorrow. I'll be there Saturday for the Brentford game. I'll be doing a review show Sunday for the Brentford game as well. But yeah, loads of content. Make sure you subscribe, everyone. Thank you to all the chat as well for coming on and listening to all his chat and hear David and Matt talk. And Rad just listening as always. But yeah, it's been a great show, people. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you know, and I'll see you tomorrow for my preview show for Brentford. Beats and love, up the Forest.